Mexico. This is a land of rich history, steeped in ancient myths, a land of proud people, people with stories that are passed down through the generations. Stories portrayed through revered customs, radiant art, and expressive music. Many of these stories come to life in the corrido. For decades, the corrido has been an expressive instrument to chronicle the Mexican condition. These simple ballads have become the anthem of life for rural Mexico. The corridos are songs of pride. They are songs of great deeds of their heroes, or the betrayal of their heroes. And the corrido frequently tells the story of a premature or vicious death. Mexico is the southernmost nation in North America. The country shares the language, the heritage, and customs of much of Latin America. But people in Mexico also see the freedoms and opportunities enjoyed by their northern neighbors in the United States of America. This existing disparity entices many to leave Mexico and immigrate to the United States in hopes of finding a better life. Many that attempt the dangerous journey north first make a pilgrimage to Culiacan, Sinaloa, and pay for a corrido. This special corrido is sung in reverence to Jesus Malverde, who in turn will give protection to the one that requests it, and give divine guidance to a safe and secure crossing. There are numerous classic corridos that tell the story of Jesus Malverde, or as he is better known to his followers, the generous bandit and the angel of the poor.
Malverde, he plays for a crossing sin contratiempo. Los grupos le componen corridos a las personas que van a cruzar. Son como mensajes para las personas que cruzan y que quedan en el camino. Dice la gente que estas personas, Jesús Malverde, asaltaba a las hordadas de mulas que traían las piedras preciosas que sacaban de las minas de la sierra, y ese dinero o esos metales que robaban los repartía entre los pobres.
It's funny because Malverde is like a saint, but it's like his modern Robin Hood, you know.
The story of Jesus Malverde shares familiar ideas that can be found in other popular corridos. These are the unofficial histories of small Mexican communities and their iconic heroes. To understand just what the corrido is and what its role in Mexican society is, the corrido needs to be understood in the context of the history of the country. Bordered by the United States of America on the north and Central America on the south, today's Mexico was once Mesoamerica, the site of several advanced civilizations for 3,000 years. Some of these civilizations were the Olmec, the Maya, and the Aztec. In the Valley of Mexico, near what is now present-day Mexico City, the first truly urban society in the Western Hemisphere developed around 300 AD. The actual construction of a great city didn't occur until the arrival of the Aztecs in the late 12th century. The Aztecs christened the city Teotihuacan, the place where people become gods. In 1519, Spain invaded and conquered the native civilizations. They ruled Mexico for 3 centuries. During this rule, only Spaniards from Spain could hold high office. Creoles of Spanish blood that were born in Mexico and mestizos of mixed Spanish and Indian blood were relegated to positions of inferior status. However, the indigenous people, they were treated as slaves.
The European Spaniards that came and the French and the German all felt that they had an inherent manifest destiny and right to own the land, and the indigenous people didn't matter.
The difference between poor and rich are very, very absolutely different. No middle, just rich and poor. The friends of the president, the government, the politicians have a very big part of earth, properties, and he make an hacienda. Hacienda, like like in the Middle Age, and a lot of servants, and this is the master of the city, and he decides everything. I have the right to have my own house, not this house. I live in this house, but it's not my house. I harvest this camp, but it's not mine. I harvest this and I bring the bean, the corn to the master, and the people start this movement. I have the right to have my land. I have the right to freedom.
So you take that sense of working hard for the land, which is the indigenous pride, and then you make, which already has an element of machismo about it. I mean, the indigenous culture, the males are very, very strong, in terms of pride. You put that and you mutate it with this kind of hybrid idea of manifest destiny. And I think that's where the valiente and the macho comes from.
The narrative of their oppression and their struggle to survive in a marginalized culture was illustrated as well as celebrated through the corrido. Working-class corridistas, or corrido writers, were common on small ranches and throughout the rural communities. Their corridos validated the identity of the rural Mexican, but also gave them hope as the corrido glorified their valientes.
Valiente, well, in the sense of the corrido term, it's a man who, is won't back down. He holds his core values true, and those core values a lot of times are rustic, a lot of times are rural, but they're also noble in that sense of they work with their hands. Everything you see that they have around them, they created themselves, so that entitles them. Because the corrido itself started as being able to communicate a story of something, of fighting against justice, or a story of a guy who got away with it against insurmountable odds.
Que hablaban de una tragedia, de un hecho amoroso, de un hecho fortuito, de una leyenda, y el corrido siempre sirvió de comunicación y de enlace entre la comunidad.
Maybe it's the last thing that's left of the old troubadour.
Yeah.
Which in essence that's what the troubadour was. He was the newspaper, so.
The corridos is a very pure style, it's a pure style.
Acordeón y guitarra, nada más. 2 personas o 3 personas.
Even before the accordion came by, I think it was just a couple of guitars, because they used to do these in campfires. We used to do them, around a campfire. So it was just usually just a couple of guitars, or even just one guitar and one guy singing.
It was around the time of Jesus Malverde's death in 1909 that the corrido became an important tool of the Mexican Revolution.
The revolution time in 1910 in Chihuahua and all around Mexico, when the soldiers that they were fighting for, freedom, for more rights. They put together a bonfire and they start to play the guitar and start the custom, the corrido, and began to form part like a tradition in the revolution time.
De Pancho Villa son los preferidos, sí, porque fue un guerrillero muy valiente.
Esa es cultura, porque ahí te dice lo que pasó en la revolución.
The poor were the object of abuse and exploitation on the part of the privileged classes. This history of oppression sparked the Mexican Revolution and brought to the forefront a new generation of heroes, including Francisco Pancho Villa, the commander of the forces in the northern part of Mexico.
For example, my grandfather, my grandmother. I was in the revolutionary time. I remember when Pancho Villa came to my house and he stole some blankets or some, you can find a lot of bars and a lot of old people that they tell the history. When Francisco Villa was here, and a lot of corridos talking about the Pancho Villa, that he could beat, the American people, it's like a symbol,
Pancho Villa. Many considered him a bandit and a thief, but for the poor, he was their valiente.
The November 20 is the Revolution Day here in Mexico. And when we dress like, revolutionary times, it's a zapata, like Francisco Villa, and put a mustache and a hat in this elementary school. And in this time, we sang some corridos, yes? And this is when I learned.
Son corridos tradicionales. Desde la primaria uno los canta, desde la escuela primaria, en secundaria, en primaria también,
Many classic corridos found their beginning during the Mexican Revolution years. One such classic was that of the Adelita.
My father's mother was an Adelita. They were the camp followers, the ones that followed the armies, the Pancho Villa's armies, the Zapatas. They had these followers, the women all following them on foot. Entonces, si Adelita se fuera con otro, right? It's about a specific woman, but it was composed during that time, so that's why they started calling these women the Adelitas, because they kind of represented this kind of strong, fierce Mexican revolutionary woman who was a supported camp follower, but also had the gun belt and fought along, and this guy was in love with her revolutionary spirit.
Adelita was a very brave woman from Chihuahua. She decided to join to the revolution. Usually, to the revolution, they just men, the woman to the house and take care of the children and helping to, to make food for us, and that's it. And some in the woman, usually in the revolution times, they bring, the bullets, a lot of, the bullets, the rifles, and they keep the bullets high, and they bring to the soldiers. This is kind of history. But Adelita decides, okay, and she asked from Pancho Villa, I would like to join to you. Okay, help to me with the bullets. No, I would like to fight with rifle. Oh my! And okay. Pancho Villa, macho man, the woman, not soldier, just male. And okay, finally he accepts. And okay, go to a battle, and she was very good with the rifle, And she was stronger and stronger, but she was beautiful. She was a soldier, but she was beautiful. Can you imagine all these soldiers were in love with her? For the reason we have a lot of corridos. There is one special, Adelita. Y si Adelita se fuera con otro.
The revolutionary icon of the Adelita has lived on through the corrido. So too has Pancho Villa. Though Villa met his destiny in Hidalgo de Parral in 1923, Villa the Valiente found immortality through classic corridos like La Cucaracha, Pancho Villa's marching song, and La Punitiva, an embellished accounting of a battle where Villa duped the American forces. Though the Mexican Revolution was officially over, the unrelenting threat of lawlessness was the way of life throughout rural Mexico.
La gente era muy valiente. La gente aquí era un pueblo que todos posiblemente la gente de la ciudad tenían sus armas, pistolas, todos, escopeta, era gente de esos tiempos, sí.
The status quo remained, as did the continued need for a valiente to stand up for the working class. Just after the revolution, there lived a man near the city of Acapulco. He lived with a gun in his hand, and his name was Simón Blanco.
Él defendía a los pobres de los caciques, pues, de los que tenían dinero. Él los defendía, y personas que le hacía un mal a un pobre, él iba y los mataba al rico y le quitaba su dinero.
Anteriormente, antes de su muerte, él había sido policía municipal de aquí del lugar, con sus amigos que estaban involucrados en la muerte. Pero como anteriormente había caciquismo por las tierras, todo el mandato, el poder, tú sabes. Cuando existe el poder, siempre hay enemigos. Y entonces había un distanciamiento con sus otros amigos, no había un arreglo personal o un arreglo comunitario. Entonces otros que no estaban de acuerdo con él planearon su muerte.
Simón Blanco, the valiente of Tres Palos, was betrayed there in the town that he defended. At that time, his daughter, Dona Margarita, was only 8 years old. Now she, along with her son, daughter, son-in-law, and grandson, continued to live in that neighborhood where a wedding was held and Simón Blanco was betrayed.
Le dijo él que no iba y se quedó acostado. Voy a ir un ratito, dice, a la boda. Dice, ¿qué dirá mi padrino? Que yo, dice, ni a pararme voy. Dice, voy a ir un ratito, pero no tengo alma, dice, mi alma está grande. Eran 30. Entonces le habla un vecino ahí, familiar de nosotros. Dice, acá no tiene tu pistola. Dice, sí. Dice, préstamela. Sí, dice, se la prestó.
Se dirigió a la reunión, toditos lo saludaron como persona de honor. Se dijeron los Martínez, cayó a las redes el león. Como a las 3.
Porque él no llevaba pistola, la llevaba pero se la quitaron. Llevaba la pistola, pero un amigo lo agarró para que no peleara.
Era su primo hermano.
Su primo hermano no quería que peleara. No, primo, vámonos. Y él, no, espérate. Entonces le quitó el arma y aquellos llegaron y pum, lo mataron sin arma. Y entonces le dijo, dame mi pistola porque esa es mi defensa. Por eso sí, la canción habla de eso. Pero ya cuando quiso agarrar la pistola, ya no alcanzó a resistir, le falló la resistencia, los balazos.
Ya la boda fue allá y de allá se los sacaron para acá. Entre todos ellos ya tenían el plano y se los trajeron, ya venían averiguando así. Ajá. Pero Bailón lo agarró, era su primo hermano. Bailón lo agarró ya cuando vio que pues, se iban a tirar, ¿no? Entonces él lo abrazó, lo tenía abrazado a aquel y le tiraron. Y pues él ya no pudo defender sin pistola. ¿Cómo pues? Si la pistola se la quitaron y luego abrazaron, lo mataron. Allí lo mataron. Y entre todos, 4 para una persona.
Eran 2. Y luego
Y medio, igual.
Que era un buen gallo de traba. Era un gallito muy fino que el gobierno respetaba. Él con su 30 en la mano. Simón Blanco se llamaba.
A los 13 días que mataron a mi abuelo, se mataron ellos. Entre sí, los Martínez.
Pero es que no lo conoció.
Y por eso,
Noche de luna.
Y ahí andaba
un adobe aquí al hombro y le hablaba
se le
como
disparó. Me puede, permítame. Entonces viene y lo mata, mano. Por aquí lo mató, ¿ah? Por aquí, la
ahí en la iglesia.
Ahí en la iglesia. Lo mata y le quita la pistola y se va para su casa. Ellos vivían aquí adelantito. Entonces ya estando allá, ve la pistola. La pistola de mi hermano. Ahí viene corriendo. Y llegan hasta el cuarto y lo ve, pues, y lo reconoce que es su hermano y ¡pum! Se mata él.
The Corrido of Simón Blanco continues to this day to be performed, recorded, and re-recorded by musicians throughout Mexico. But while recounting the events of that auspicious day, the Corrido also issues a warning.
Por eso en la canción dice que se cerraba un misterio, porque cuando lo mata un compadre a otra persona, es como una ofensa a Dios, los Martínez, y como aquí el pueblo es muy creyente a los sucesos de Dios, consideraron que era una maldición o una, ¿cómo se dice?, un caso único, porque fue muy rápido.
The Martinez brothers met their fate as a result of their betrayal of Simón Blanco. The treachery of a group of supposed friends resulted in the death of all of the players involved. This eerie twist was rumored throughout Tres Palos and is documented in the Corrido.
El corrido cumplía una función muy importante de conocimiento con los personajes de las comunidades y hablaba de hechos fortuitos que se daban en la comunidad, como el caso de Simón Blanco.
In the Mexican story, there was a time in 1926 to 1931 called the Cristera, Revolución Cristera. We had a president, and he was, I don't know why, but he was anti-Catholic. He hated the Catholics, I don't know why. Can you imagine this kind of law? It's called the Calles Law. And he suspended all the public religious acts, you know, the local. If one priest celebrates the mass in public, they put it in jail. And he killed a lot of people, Catholic. And they call this movement, the history called Cristeros. And this corrido is related a Cristero. He's in jail, and he say, this Sunday, by the morning, I'm going to kill you. Why? Because I am a Cristero. My grandfather, they fought against the soldiers, the Mexican army. And my father, when he heard this corrido, he cried because he remembered all the, you know. For me, this is a special kind of corridos, the Cristeros corrido.
The Corrido continued on as the voice of the people, an information source cloaked as entertainment that wasn't under the scrutiny of the government. It was also free of editorial comment. As they were passed down through the generations, this free expression found through the Corrido was accessible to any that wished to utilize it, whether as news or as myth or both. With time, the differentiation between fact and fiction becomes unclear.
Que no siempre nos dice la verdad. A veces son leyendas.
So many things that we take for granted as being truth, and it turns out that they're fiction or they're urban legends.
Most of the corridos are real. You know, it's like a gossip. it's a real fact, but when you tell to another and another tell to another, it's something kind of different. It's reality, but the base is a true fact. Sometimes it's not specifically, it's not the very accurate, the fact, the reality, but most of the time it's also real.
Listening to my father growing up as a kid was one thing I realized was that a lot of the songs that he was doing were older songs that my grandmother had taught him, that were older songs that her grandmother had taught her. So, and he was reinventing them for his generation. So when I look at a corrido now, and it skips a generation, and it's a lot further from me than it was to him. Like
removed, yeah.
Yeah, the corrido that he was talking about the West Side here, I mean, that was contemporary to him, but to me, that's like classic history.
Él andaba con familias tocando alrededor del pueblo, en el pueblo con los vecinos, convivía con todos los vecinos en el momento de echar la cerveza o cuando había fiestas familiares.
Usted sabe que cuando anda en la juventud, hasta donde quiera los cantaba uno. Pues usted se imagina, cuando anda que es parral, es imposible decirle yo en qué parte. Y usted más bien si le gustaba uno la cervecita, pues usted se imagina. Pues no había fiesta, pero cuando vimos ahí cantaba en mi casa.
In the afternoon or empezando la noche, many conjuntos here. Because you need conjunto to token una fiesta in your home. You come here, you go to the office. I want to que me toquen 1, 2, 3, 4 hours.
If I sing my corrido from my city, it means that I'm very proud, and I describe my city is the best of all around Mexico.
Cananea has their own corrido, Nogales has their own corrido, all the cities has their own corridos, man.
El corrido de Culiacán empieza Culiacán, bella perla de Humaya.
The corrido was a resource for expressing pride in one's hometown. So, this musical form, the simplicity of the corrido style, was not just relegated to stories of war heroes and seemingly superhuman legends, but other legends as well.
And I used to sing that this great steed that rode across Mexico or something. Este es el corrido del caballo blanco, que el día domingo feliz arrancará.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the rural ranchero, vaquero, vaqueros over there, they love their horses, so they sing about races. There's
horses, I was good.
Yeah, horses, yeah, I know.
Hay otro corrido que son también de caballos famosos que hubo aquí en Parral, de carreras de caballos. Habla del caballo el mojoso, que fue un caballo muy famoso aquí en Parral. Ganó muchas carreras y era de aquí de Parral y se hizo muy famoso fuera de Parral porque también competía en otros lugares y ganaba, era muy bueno. Pues va creciendo el interés, ¿verdad?, de la gente, a ver si es cierto, a ver si lo conocieron, pues todos quieren ir a conocer ese caballo.
Corrido is just a story in its pure essence. When they say, I'm going to sing you a corrido, I'm going to sing you a story. Historical, fable, freaky, crime, hero, whatever. That's the essence of it.
In cantinas, on the streets, in public transportation, whenever and wherever an audience could be found, the corrido has remained steadfast as a platform to invoke an emotion and tell a story. 1972. Corridista Angel Gonzalez writes a song about a man and a woman that, together, smuggle a shipment of marijuana from Tijuana to Los Angeles. After completing the deal, the man says that he's taking his money to visit his girlfriend. His partner, however, becomes enraged with jealousy. She shoots him in a dark Hollywood alley and disappears with all the money. This corrido's popularity begat a new corrido subgenre, the narco-corrido.
That's the first one. It was the first widely commercially successful corrido of its age. And everybody points back to that's the first one. You know, there may have been others, but just did not have the success.
Por lo general, los narcocorridos hablan de que llevé la droga, de que llevé la mercancía, de que me agarraron allá, de que con cuernos de chivo o llevaban un montón de armas o que llevaban la mercancía escondida en la camioneta o en el camión. De eso hablan los narcocorridos.
Son diferentes tipos. Hay corridos de valientes, o sea, corridos de los de antes, pero hay corridos nuevos de narcotráfico.
Yeah, the most popular corridos, the most popular kind of corridos are narcos here. And the people like, have you heard the corrido about this one and this one? It's very famous, described, they was driving a suburban gold, and he was pretending being an old, hey, hi, in the immigration, the checkpoint, military checkpoint, this is a corrido, and suddenly, hi, and okay, mother, could you get down to the suburban? And in this time, they under his habit or his dress, he put the car, the rifles, this is a corrido.
Luz al Cielo speaks about a person that is dead, but the musicians says that he's not dead. If this person went to the doctor and make a facial reconstruction, and everybody think that he's dead, but he's not dead. People knows or people doesn't know if it is true or not true.
Apparently he tried to have plastic surgery, and the doc screwed up, died. I remember there was a picture of him in a casket looking ghastly, but a couple of corridos came out of that.
The beauty of Latin music entertains without the listener necessarily possessing an understanding of the Spanish language. This also holds true for the violent and bloody stories of the narco-corrido.
Oiga, compadre Medina, no apague su celular. El domingo baja una vez en el desierto de Altar. Allá lo espero en Tijuana, lo vamos a celebrar. Con 10 balazos de super terminaron aquel baile. El rayito cayó herido, no se pudo remediar. Para disfrazar el crimen, lo echaron a un bulevar. El rayo cayó en Tijuana, a tiros lo asesinaron. Al padre le secuestraron, la perra andaba muy brava. A los hermanos mataron, allá por Guadalajara.
Actualmente, lamentablemente, el corrido está cumpliendo una función que denosta contra los narcos o favorece a los narcos, los hace gentes muy famosas.
La sangre de esos valientes, Medina las va a cobrar.
Along with the popularity of the narco-corrido is the dilemma of the narco-corrido and the chaos associated with narco-culture.
Sí, pues ha habido muchos problemas. Hemos tocado en fiestas para narcos y ha habido problemas de balazos, de armas y pues mucha gente muerta y todo eso. Muy peligroso.
Pues ese es un tipo de música que parece que no, pero te induce a la juventud pues a que trabajes, a delinquir. O sea, es parte de ya una cultura de los jóvenes, oír ese tipo de música y dejarse influenciar por ese tipo de música para hacer el trabajo del narcotraficante, ¿no? Del trabajo ilícito.
We've got more bands than ever before. That is pure fact, man. There's just more groups in every genre just exploding. It's like a fountain of young bands that's just faster than it was before. Secondly, the media. There's more media and mediums available.
Due in part to the popularity of the narco-corrido, the corrido can be found on more Latin recordings than all other forms of music, including the popular tropical rhythms. But there is a drastic dissimilarity in the music style that has adopted the storytelling lyrics of the corrido. In Culiacan, the capital of the Mexican state of Sinaloa, this is the sound of Banda.
Corridos, the tourist styles are changing. The corridos are like mixing with the band style music.
Los corridos, la mayoría de los corridos trabajan con banda, por eso tiene mucho que ver con nosotros sinaloenses. Me gusta nada más porque pues hablan mucho aquí de Sinaloa. Aquí, como diría, aquí nacemos de chicos con los corridos en la sangre.
A mí me gusta mucho la música regional de aquí de Sinaloa, con tambora.
Culiacan is not only known for being the state capital of Sinaloa, it is also home to powerful Mexican drug cartels. Frequent confrontations between government soldiers on one side and local drug dealers on the other are commonplace not only in the streets of Culiacan, but also in Acapulco, Monterrey, and along the U.S. and Mexico border. Given the situation that many of the rural and urban areas still exist in an uneven distribution of wealth, an odd dichotomy presents itself. These regional drug ringleaders are now the modern-day valiente, fulfilling the role sung about in the classic corridos and illustrated in the narco-corrido.
Yeah, there's proof that most of the modern-age drug cartel leaders, gang war leaders, that to survive, they had to spread the wealth, and the locals are going to protect me because I'm the source of their extra revenue. Or I'm the one building the school or the park or the street, whatever needed to be done.
No, pues las personas, ellos hacen que haya más dinero aquí en el pueblo y es bueno para el pueblo.
Here in el corrido speaks about he is a good person, speaks about he helps people.
De los que yo conozco, ahorita nomás vienen y se van y regresan y hacen su negocio y se regresan otra vez. Pero aquí radican, aquí viven muchos mafiosos. ¿Sí? Nada más que no se la llevan aquí porque es muy peligroso para ellos. Corre peligro su vida. ¿Sí?
Corrido.
Sí.
We have a tendency to identify, you know, if you've been through that, if you've been through something like that, where you can identify with that. But at the same time, it's exciting because you hear that somebody else went through it, and you know, to a danger point, to either getting killed or killing somebody because of it or something. And there's always that sense that
even though it's against the law, that the law is wrong. That the law does not represent what's best for the people. And there's always that sense in corridos. And I think even in narco-corridos, there's that sense that the reason that they have to be narco-trafficantes is because of their economic condition, which again goes back to that there's a bigger oppressive culture. So there's still that element of el valiente, and that does still touch a certain part of us, and I think that's why it's popular, especially amongst the immigrant community. Hey man, you know, the inspiration for where these genres come from is something very real that's happening. Really, the people that are making that music are coming from a very real place. The people that are selling the music, that's something different. You know, the people that are buying the music, hey, they're looking for something real, man. So if you give them something that explains what they understand, and that's that.
Prior to this, it wasn't so vivid. It was a story told in poetic form, in a music type of form, and it wasn't specifically about narco. It was about a corrido was a story about, like I said, as I was saying, about love, about treason, a woman, you know, scorn. It was about their corridos about women killing a man because going out with another girl. So it's when the narco corrido came along, then it was about narcotics. Prior to that, the corrido was about everyday life.
I think in contemporary times, it's become more about vatos hiring. That's where Chalino Sanchez came from. Is they started hiring him. So it was kind of like a new phenomenon. Yeah, he was commissioned, and that's a new post-1960s thing.
Though his writing and performing career lasted only 4 years, Chalino Sanchez was one of the most influential narco-corridistas from the Culiacan area. He would write narco-corridos by commission, penning stories about the escapades of well-known local drug dealers, and then record them using the Banda style.
A veces vanagloria a elementos que no lo merecen, por ejemplo los narcos, ¿verdad? Por decirlo. Entonces, pero se aprovecha el deseo de escuchar a ciertos músicos que hacen corridos.
The narco-corrido has not found favor with many of the classic corrido fans, but its popularity cannot be ignored. Drug traffickers often pay entertainers to play at their parties and write songs about them. Utilizing corridistas like Chalino Sanchez, narco culture can use the corrido for self-promotion, making the narco-corrido not about news, but more about publicity.
Los corridos negros lo único que hacen, pues no hablar de la verdad, sino simplemente hablar de sí mismo para ellos hacerse famosos. Sí. La relación entre la diferencia de un corrido actual a los antaños, se da tanta la diferencia porque bien puede ser por perseguir una cuestión económica, ¿sí? y hacerse perseguir una fama, ¿sí? A los corridos antaños que realmente se relatan las historias de los hechos, de lo que pasa. Ya no narran una versión verídica, y los corridos anteriores eran verídicos, eran ciertas, eran cosas ciertas, sucesos que pasaban pero que eran verídicos. Los corridos de antes, por ejemplo, en el caso de mi abuelo.
The regional drug ringleaders are now the modern-day valiente, fulfilling the roles sung about in the classic corridos. Since their money and huge profits come from a non-traditional source, they seek divine intervention and protection for their workers and their shipments from an equally non-traditional saint, the patron saint of the narco-trafficante, Jesus Malverde.
He say, Malverde, he say narcos, it's good. Too much narcos, he's putting this, say, I need you help, or no problem. He say too much drugs, and the gun, okay. No police, he say, it's pretty good. This is Malverde, es santo de narcos. He say, what you need, and you need a house, you need money. You have a problem, he says, I need your help. And this boy, they say, I
it's okay, I help. He say, I have it, the one people, he say, me, I have it, oh. And he say, oh, I need your help. He say, it's okay, no problem. He say, boom, no more problem. Pretty good.
Jesus Malverde is a source of pride among the locals and is celebrated in the Corrido. Well-known traffickers are said to come regularly in the evening to his shrine to leave tokens of their appreciation after shipments of contraband successfully elude the police and arrive in the United States. Holding Malverde in the highest regard is a way of defying the government that has continued its history of neglect.
Ya ves que la católica es la más grande de todo, y es igual. Aquí viene gente de la misma que va a la católica.
Ya no vayas a robar.
Que Jesús Malverde era un hombre pues que a los pobres ayudaba. Y es que era un hombre muy poderoso ese, pues. Después de que lo mataron y todavía, pues, ¿cómo? O sea, sigue haciendo milagros.
Claro, por esa enfermedad que usted tenga, un pariente de usted, ya sea que tenga un pariente en la cárcel o algo, que hace un milagro de sacarlo, que hace un milagro de curar. De muchas formas.
Y él todavía le pide, pues, como un santo, pues, que le pide uno y le concede, pues. Nomás que eso y le pide lo de contrabando, pues, ¿me entiendes? Puede ser de los narcos, pues.
The culture surrounding the shrine of Jesus Malverde continues to support the idea of the valiente. Though the narco-trafficantes adopt him as their narco-saint, among Mexico's marginalized working class, Jesus Malverde will always be known as the angel of the poor, the generous bandit.
Esa es una alcancía para depositar los sobres con las ayudas de dinero que la gente viene y deja, porque el encargado de la capilla ayuda a hacerle las fiestas a los boleros, a los vendedores de periódicos y a la gente de más escasos recursos, porque inclusive les regala cajas de muertos y les regala todo el servicio mortuorio que hay algunas personas no tienen para pagar en las agencias funerarias.
Como protesta del suelo. Sigue ayudando a los pobres por los milagros del cielo.
The Corrido. For decades, the corrido has been an expressive instrument to chronicle the Mexican condition. These simple ballads have become the anthem of life for rural Mexico. The corridos, songs of pride, songs of great deeds, songs of the valiente. Whether the message is pure fact or fiction, the corrido serves an important function that is beyond entertainment and much more profound than simple storytelling.
My daughter, because I know corridos, okay, I maybe sometimes I play the guitar and she heard some corridos and she keep the tradition. But if in a family they don't have this kind of tradition, that somebody play the guitar, maybe the people grow up without knowing nothing about corridos.
As the popularity of the narco-corrido continues to grow, the classic corrido and its songs of history, of factual events, of iconic heroes, treasured stories are becoming distant and blurred in Mexican culture.
I am afraid that with the time, if we don't promote this kind of formation, these traditions, maybe we can lose in the future. Maybe I'm afraid of that.
The necessity of the classic corrido fades further and further from the memory of Mexico's general population. Cherished stories, possibly lost to posterity.
Al comienzo del siglo XX, mataron Jesús Malverde. 1909, cantaron corridos de su muerte.
Julio Roilán Vaca Gardea.
Medardo Reducindo Navarrete.
Benjamín Galicia, director del Centro de Investigación e Información Histórica de Acapulco.
Margarita Blanco de la O.
Alejandro Morales Blanco.
Ulises Morales Pinzón. Luis Rico Terraza.
César Torres Loya.
Luis Daniel Jiménez.
Ramón Fonseca Zaragoza.
Marcelino Luna Urias.
Enrique Contreras.
I'm Jesse Borrego Sr. I'm Jesse Borrego Jr.
Jesús González.
José Luis Pérez Fonseca is my name.
Mike Solórzano.
Pedro Rubio Carrasco.
Ricardo
My name is Ramiro Burr, a reporter for the San Antonio Express News.
Yo me llamo Cecilio de Acapulco.
De aquí a allá, la explotación en las batallas de los ganadores. Los que sufrieren son los que pierden con ganas para platas y oros. Todavía no tenemos la justicia, ni leyes sensibles sobre drogas.